Good evening, my nitty gritty tea crew. This is your girl Tamika Smith. How is everybody's evening this evening? How's everybody been? You know what it is. It's episode 2. And episode 2, we're talking about being a stay-at-home mom. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. You know, this evening it's a bit of a got a different feel to it this evening, as you know, you can't see me this evening, so it's just my voice. Mainly because I'm using my iPhone right now to record, so struggling with the storage, and it's long. So for now, we're just gonna stick with the voice video. You know, the voice, hearing my voice. You know, ASMR. So before I tune in and start this lovely video, lovely episode, I'm just gonna say, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. Please support the girl if possible. And yeah, please, I just hope you just sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode this evening of loveliness, you know. Personal service announcement, please forgive me and my son in the background. He's really fighting sleep, so just, yeah, forgive me. So our topic today is being a stay-at-home mom. How you dealt with it, how good it was, bad it was, or whatever. Just the whole shebang, literally the whole shebang, everything that surrounds being a stay-at-home mom. So today I try to get some answers off the same question. I try to put like a question and answer. You know, when you have like you on Instagram and you can sort of put on your story certain questions and you can get answers from your followers and whoever you follow. So I tried to do that today. Total fail. I was like, you know what, let me just try, but it just failed. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to go off my own experience. So that's what you're gonna get today. But personally, me being a stay-at-home mom it has its pros and its cons, just like the previous episode that I did. You know, it's really nice, you know, you're pregnant, you start feeling the move and everything, and then you have them, and then you look after them, and you nurture them, and you nurture them, and you just watch them grow. You watch your mini-me just grow up. You know, it's really lovely to see, you know. Like I explained in my first episode video, I have 2 sons. I have a 5-year-old and I have a 1-year-old, which is the 1-year-old is screaming off his head currently. Now, I had 2 different experiences with both of my sons. I think I'll start with my first, which is my 5-year-old. So his name is Phoenix, a firebird. So he's 5. He was 2 months premature. He came 2 months prematurely. That was a really hard, depressing, toxic pregnancy. I'm not going to go into detail about his father, but because his father is not my husband. But we're not going to go into detail with that. But it was a very hard, toxic pregnancy. That surrounding that pregnancy was hard. It was really tough. So then, leading up to having him and giving birth to him the way I did, it was scary. Gonna leave that for another episode, that experience. But having him and then the hospital not allowing me to see him straight after I had him. He was like 2 weeks old by the time I had literally held him, smelt him, seen him, everything. He was 2 weeks old. So that was hard in itself. I found it very hard to bond with him, which was really scary. Because I've never, that's my first baby, and I'm like, in my head I wanted this, you want that, and that's how you want to be when when you give birth to your child. But that's not how it was. So not bonding with your child is foreign. You know what I mean? How the world and everybody and social media presents having a child is you're supposed to, you have your baby and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. So I'm not saying it's not, but certain experiences are different for certain people. But I didn't bond with him very well. It took a very long time. And I was a stay-at-home mom, and it was hard. Living with my mom, going back to my mom's house from living on my own for not living on my own, but living outside of my mom's house, and then having to come back, and then have to live with my mom, and trying to be a mom under your mom's roof is mad. It's mad. You're trying to raise your son, but then you're a first time mom, so then you're not ignorant to advice, but then you're like, hold on, but he's my son, you know what I mean? It's another level of madness. But just being a stay-at-home mom, losing your identity, and being a single mom as well. Being a single mom, like, yes, his dad was in his life for a time, but most of the time it was just me, the main caregiver. So being a single mom and a stay-at-home mom is tough. There's no breaks. When you're sick, you can't just be sick and just not do nothing. You got things to do, honey. You have things to do. You're the mom, the dad, the teacher, the nurse, everything. You're everything. And that can take its biggest toll on you. It's tiring. It's so tiring. But that's your baby. Who else is gonna do it? You know what I mean? So give me sorry. So in that way it's tough, because there's no breaks. You can't just go about your business and just be like, yeah, I'm done for today, I'm just gonna come back tomorrow. You can't do that. That's not how it goes. What else? You lose your identity. You lose a lot of friends. I wouldn't say friends, just people you thought were friends. You lose a lot of that. That was a big scare for me, because I was like, raw. Like, when I'm having a bad day, I can't even call blah de blah, because blah de blah's gone about her business and just locked me off and ghosted me for no reason. And it's really like that. It's really, really like that. It's mad. But then it's kind of a good thing, because it's kind of then a thing where you've sieved out who your real people are. So it's a good thing. Depression can hit you hard. I have been there so many times, and more recent than anything. And I've literally just come out of being a stay-at-home mom from because I've been a stay-at-home mom from since my oldest was born up to now. So that's a very, very, very long time. I've not had a break of, being a stay-at-home mom, then he's at nursery, then I start work and find a job. When my oldest was supposed to start nursery, COVID happened. So I'm like, I want in blouse and skirt. Can't even have a life, It was hard. So, yeah, that experience was tough. And then I had this experience with my youngest now. He was born. And then I had two C-sections I had with both of them. The youngest was born, and then forgive me, I have hay fever. My youngest was born, and then what happened? And then my husband had to go back to work. He had to go straight back to work. So I was just like, raw, how am I gonna do this? Like, oh my God, my father, me have to go from one little picnic to two. I want this. So it was scary. It was very, very scary going from one child to two, and that's what scared me. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. You know, my youngest would not sleep. He's till this day, he don't sleep. He would not sleep. He would fight the sleep. You would rock him. You'd sing to him. You'd wrap him up and swaddle him. Put on white knives on. Just anything, everything and anything we tried would not work. It worked for a small time, but we spent the most of the year, the whole year of this boy's life, we have spent living off minimal amount of sleep. I know they say that you don't get sleep when you have kids, but with my youngest, this is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So, husband went back to work. He's then working 40 hours. I'm like, I want this. So then, I'm half dead of no sleep. Then I mash up because my body's been cut in half. And it's just long. It's just long. So it was a lot to deal with, you know. And then when he got to about, I'd say 7-8 months, I was like, look, Babs, I said to my husband, look, we got to put this boy in nursery because look, we need to live. Me need alive. You know, me need to work. Not even work, it's just I felt like I had lost myself and I was burning out slowly and I was having breakdowns. I was literally getting into the bathroom, putting the shower on and just crying in the bath, sitting at the bottom of the shower and just crying on the floor of the bath. I was having regular breakdowns. I was crying on the floor, in my husband's arms. It was bad. At the start of start of 2023 and the end of 2022, I was having breakdowns often, like constant breakdowns, because he wouldn't sleep, have bouts of shouting and screaming and overtired behaviour. And it's a lot to deal with. And then I had my oldest, who might be autistic. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. So I was having regular breakdowns, and I was just like, look, I don't have any friends. You know, I have my family support. I have his family support, but I don't have no outlet for myself. I don't have no friends. Like, I have no friends. Like, I have a few. Like, probably one, I'd say. One. But I don't have a good support system friend-wise. I don't have that. You know, there's times where you don't really want to talk to your family members about certain things. You know, you that's why you have friends. But no, like, it was tough. It was tough, like, tough. So my husband was like, you know what? If you really want to, like, you know, get a break, we'll put him in nursery. Let's just find one. So we found him one, and we put him in there. We put him in the nursery because he was crying all the time. You know, you have the stair gate in the room, and then you have the stair gate wherever else in the house. But my husband would start work because he works from home. He'll be in the office, and then as soon as it was just me and my youngest, he would cry, he would scream, stand at the gate and scream, and just literally forget that I was in the room with him. And he'd do that for hours. It doesn't matter how much I try to play with him. he did not care. He would stand there and scream for hours and hours and hours, just do it until he fell asleep. And I'm like, that was how it was for a good 6, 7, 8 months. And that 6, 7, 8 months was very hard. It was very, very hard, very depressing, very draining. I just was like, well, what the hell is this? Like, is this all that life is? Like, is this all to life? You know, is this what life is about? So it's hard. It was difficult. Until now, like, he doesn't want to. He's very, 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 very clingy. He doesn't want to play. Even though he's got a sibling, you'd think he was an older child. He doesn't want to play sometimes. He just wants to be attached to you, wants to be held all the time. I'm like, listen to me. You're one now, you know, G. Like, you must need to go and explore a little bit, you know. But then kids act differently at nursery to how they act at home, which is what we're finding out. So it's just hard. It's just difficult. But kids are lovely at the same time, you know. I don't know life. I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have any kids, honestly. I'd be travelling around the world, but then kids are lovely. Sorry. Kids are lovely, but they're just hard. Kids are a blessing, they're just hard. But, my lovelies, we're going to leave it there. I think it's a bit longer than the other episodes. But no, we're going to leave it there. That's the end of that episode. I think I might do another episode to this, like a part 2 to this. And go into depth about what happened with my first pregnancy. So that'll be another episode. That'll be a part 2 to this. But no, we're going to leave it there. Episode 3 next week will be on. What should it be on? Episode 3. It shall be on my thoughts and I don't know. I'm so sorry. My head's gone blank. The next episode shall be on you know what? As I was talking about the pregnancy, about my first son's pregnancy, that shall be the next episode. How that went, because that was a very, very intense story, and around that time that went on, that was probably a bad choice of that was probably a really bad relationship. So yeah, the next episode is toxic relationships, detailed what happened, what lesson I learned, and what lessons you can learn from that. So that'll be the next episode 3. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I shall see you everyone next week. Have a good evening.